y'all, Ms. World here. Today I'm coming at you from my home base in Louisville, Kentucky, but I'm packing for my next trip. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
Hey guys, I'm Ms. World, and I'm trying to travel around the world in style and on a budget. The in style part starts with good packing. I am preparing right now for a 2-week trip. So I'm going to show you some packing hacks that will help you to fit all kinds of stuff, like I have spread out here, into just 3 bags. We have the standard suitcase. We have, under my hat box, a carry-on bag, and then we have a personal item bag. Hold on, let me show you that too. That can also be taken on the plane. So, in addition to what we're carrying this stuff in, we have all the stuff that goes into the bags. That includes all the clothes I'm going to wear, all the storage items I need to carry with me when I'm walking around, water bottles, electronic gadgets, shoes, toiletries, all of it. And we're going to fit it all into these bags using some trickery. So before you ever pack for a trip, you want to have a working knowledge of what you're going to wear on the trip. And if you're going on a trip, chances are you've already got some sort of itinerary planned out of events you want to do, places you want to go, where you want to eat, things like that. I tend to super plan, so I have a very detailed itinerary. Whether your itinerary is extremely packed like mine or a little bit looser, you should have some kind of idea of the kind of things you're going to wear from day to day of your trip. For instance, if you're walking around in the city, you want to make sure you have good walking shoes. Maybe you're going to be out sightseeing all day. You're going to want to have something comfortable on, like maybe a t-shirt or a comfortable blouse. Maybe you're going somewhere a little bit nicer for one of the days of your trip. Maybe you're going to be walking around a museum. On that day, you might not want to have a pair of jeans on. You might want to have maybe a blouse, pair of slacks, whatever. Maybe you're going out to a nice dinner. You're going to want to have outfits for that. So know what you're doing and when, at least have some sort of working knowledge of that. And then you can plan your outfits so that you can only bring exactly what you need. You don't want to bring more than what you need, because remember, you have to carry all this around with you, at least through the airport, to the hotel, wherever you're going. So pack just what you need, carry only what you have to carry, or else later on you're going to be cursing yourself. You're going to be asking yourself, why did I bring all this stuff when I didn't even use it? So after you have your itinerary planned, go ahead and look at the events that you're doing every single day, and then kind of decide just a general idea of what you want to wear each and every day. If you were going to be out more in nature, say you're going to an archaeological site, a monument that's outside, maybe the ground is muddy, maybe the paths are rocky, you might want to bring, you might want to wear jeans, boots, a t-shirt. So at least you know on this day, okay, well, I'm going to wear something like that. You don't have to pick exactly every single item when you're first planning out, but have a general idea. So that's what I've done already. I already know what I'm going to wear every day of the trip, and now I just have to fit it all into the suitcase. So for a 2-week trip, I am doing a bunch of different activities. So I'm going to need a bunch of different options of clothing to wear so that I have different looks for different days depending on what I'm going to do. So for me, for this trip, I need 3 pairs of shoes. I'm going to need hiking boots for walking around rougher areas that are not paved, archaeological sites, this kind of thing. I'm going to need regular, standard, everyday casual walking shoes for days when it's, heavily sightseeing, maybe being in paved areas with walkways, manicured areas that are not going to be, a lot of terrain to climb up and down. And a nicer pair of shoes that I can wear to going out to a nice dinner, maybe going to a fancier museum, something of that nature. Also, I'm bringing beach shoes because I'm also going to the beach. So keep that in mind as well. If you're going somewhere to like a beach, a swimming pool area, you also need to bring shoes for that activity. So I'm actually technically up to 4 pairs of shoes, but I'm still going to make them all fit in this bag. So it's going to be just fine. So that's actually where we want to start, is with the shoes. And keep in mind when you're packing, and this is the major thing, also when you're doing your breakdown of your fashion and deciding what kind of things you're going to bring to wear, you are going to be wearing stuff on the plane. Whatever shoes you're wearing, whatever pants you're wearing, these things are coming with you on the trip. So you can actually cheese it a little bit, because you are going to wear one of your pairs of shoes that you need for the trip on the plane. Most people will advise you to wear your heaviest shoes, your biggest and bulkiest shoes, so that takes up less space in your bag, which is a really good tip. But your biggest and heaviest, bulkiest shoes are probably also not super comfortable. So if you have like a long plane ride like I have, you're not going to want to be wearing hiking boots the entire time on the plane. So I'm going to be packing my hiking boots so that I can be more comfortable on the plane, and possibly even take my shoes off if I want to. Now, you only want to do that if you're sure that it's not going to disturb the other passengers. Otherwise, just make sure you wear some comfortable shoes on the plane that are breathable, that you can wear for like a long period of time. Hiking boots may not be it, but if you have a good pair of hiking boots that are breathable and comfortable and you feel like you can wear them on the plane, then go ahead and do so. That's just not what I'm doing. So here's packing hack number 1, packing cubes. I have tons of little bags. These are packing cubes. This makes it super, super easy. And I have 2 different sets here. A set came with my luggage, and you'll see that they're usually marked. See, that says shoes right on there. So it actually makes it super, super easy if you're using packing cubes to just put everything separately in these little cubes. Like this bag is also for shoes. So that's where we're going to put our hiking boots right now. And this actually makes it really nice, because you don't want to take a pair of shoes that have been worn, and please wear your shoes before you go on your trip. Test them out in a real world environment. Make sure they fit, make sure they feel good. So your shoes should actually definitely be worn before they ever go in your bag. Do not get a brand new pair of shoes and don't test them out and then pack them on your trip, because you might find out that you can't wear them. They're super uncomfortable. They might do something to your feet, and then now you've got major problems. So those are in the packing bag. I've stacked them so that they fit together like Tetris pieces, you see, in order to put that right in the bottom of the bag, because I'm not going to need these hiking boots immediately on the first day of the trip, so they can go in the very bottom. We also need to pack our other pair of shoes, and these are our nicer loafers that we're going to have for nicer places. Oh, and here's another packing tip you may have already noticed. I have actually laid out towels on the bed before I put any of this stuff out. For lots of different reasons, you don't want to put like shoes and like luggage directly on your bedspread. So lay out a couple towels first. 2 should probably cover, unless you have like a really huge bed, then you might need 3. But I just put down a couple towels and then put all this stuff on top of it, so that when I'm done, I could just pull the towels off and my bedspread is still fine. So that's just an extra little tip for when you're packing. I have made that mistake before of not putting the towels down, and then I got all this stuff all over the bedspread and had to wash the bedspread. So Here come the second pair of shoes, and they're going in the bag. And then the third pair of shoes, my walking shoes, I'm just going to wear those on the plane. So already we're putting less stuff in the bag that's still going on the trip. And yes, I am struggling, but there we go. That's a nice fit. They're made to be snug, so you got to kind of muscle them in there. But once you get them in there, they should fit very nicely and neatly right inside their little bag. And we're going to stack them both that way. You can see how they're stacked against the back wall of the suitcase there. And the next thing you want to think about when it comes to packing is your pants. First things first, remember, whatever pair of pants you wear on the plane, those are coming with you on the trip. You can wear those again during the trip. Pants are not quite the same as shirts. You don't have to wash pants every single time you wear them, especially jeans. And jeans manufacturers will tell you, don't wash jeans very often. There's a way to clean jeans on your own that does not involve washing and drying them in the washer and dryer. And as you know, if you've washed jeans, it kind of changes the shape of them. You have to kind of re-break them in anyway. So you can wear a pair of jeans a couple of different times, a few different times on a trip. You don't need to bring tons of pairs of jeans. That takes up a lot of space. So what I'm doing for a 2-week trip, I'm bringing one pair of jeans, and they are not here in this stack. But that's all I'm bringing. These are my other pants that I'm also bringing. So I'm only bringing one pair of jeans. I'm going to wear jeans maybe about 4 times on the trip. They don't need to be washed. They're going to be just fine. I'm also bringing jeans, and jeans are going to be great for going on archaeological sites, being outside, anything that's like super casual. Maybe, you're going to have street food for dinner that night. Jeans are fine most places you want to go. They're comfortable. They feel good. They can handle lots of different weather. They're durable. So jeans work a lot of the time no matter what you want to do. But if you want to dress up a little bit, take your style up to the next level, also make sure you pack a pair of khakis. And I got these. They're new. They still have a tag on them, but I have tried them on, which is another tip. Make sure you try on every single item that you take with you on the trip. Shoes, underwear, underclothes, t-shirts, shirts, every item, no matter what it is. Pants, even if you just wore it last week, try everything on. Make sure it fits. Make sure, and primarily, make sure it's comfortable. Don't bring a pair of pants or a shirt that you love because you like the way it looks or because you think it's very stylish if it's uncomfortable, even a little bit. You do not want to be uncomfortable while you're traveling, while you're out trying to enjoy yourself. Just bring something comfortable. There's plenty of ways to find affordable clothing that is going to feel good and fit well and feel comfortable. So you don't have to bring anything that is problematic. Even if it's just, oh, well, it only pinches me here, or it's only just a little bit this or that. You don't want to have to fidget with your clothes. You don't want to have to worry about that. It's just one more thing that you don't need when you're traveling. So only bring stuff that fits well and feels really comfortable. These khakis, super comfortable, and they look very nice. These would be fine for going to a nicer restaurant, going to a museum. If you're going around shopping in the city and you want to look sort of stylish, wonderful choice. These are really good. They're very stretchy fabric, so they fit well, they feel comfortable, and they're a great option for if you need another pair of pants other than jeans for a trip. I'm also bringing these heavier, nice slacks. The first leg of my trip, I'm going to London, which is known for damp weather. So these are like wool pants. They're lightweight, but they're warm and they're insulating. And that can handle foggy London weather, rain, dampness, and they look nice and they fit nice. So these can go pretty much anywhere that I want to go in London and look stylish and be able to handle the weather, which is another thing you have to think about when you're packing. What is the weather like where you're going? Is it rainy? Is it sunny? Is it hot? Make sure you pack appropriately and think about that as you're putting all your outfits together for the trip. The next pair of pants I have here are my airplane pants. So these don't have to be packed, and we just saved ourselves more room. Those are just black pants sort of a boot cut, just very plain, very stylish. Black pants can be worn anywhere. They can do anything. You can wear them to a restaurant, museum, walking around, and they're the most comfortable pants I've ever worn. Wear your most comfortable stuff on the plane. You want to be as comfortable as possible on the plane, because nothing about being on the plane is going to be comfortable other than you and your clothing. The seat is not going to be comfortable. The air temperature is not going to be comfortable. The noises you hear, nothing. So wear your most comfortable stuff on the plane. And if, some people wear pajamas, I would ask you not to do that. As someone who advocates for stylish travel, do not wear your pajamas on the plane. Find a pair of pants that are as comfortable as pajamas, that look great. And if you have to do it, if you're absolutely determined that you just want to be as comfortable as possible, at least take a step up from the pajamas. Wear like a nice sweatsuit. Do that for me, because we are trying to be stylish while we travel, and pajamas are not going to help you achieve that goal. So don't wear pajamas on the plane. That's just a personal thing, but I'm still asking you not to do it. So here we go. We have our 2 pairs of pants. I'm going to go retrieve my jeans, and we're going to pack these in the bag and make those fit very well. I'm bringing a dark pair of jeans because I am, as I said, I'm going to Europe, starting with London. European fashion, they tend to wear darker jeans. They don't wear a lot of light jeans. So if you're going to Europe, you also want to look into the style culture of where you're going before you go on a trip. And if you're going to Europe, you're going to see most people wear darker jeans, particularly in Northern Europe. Now, you will see a lot of lighter colors in Southern Europe, so you might be able to get away with a lighter pair of jeans if you're going there. But in Northern Europe, France, England, Germany, stick to darker denim. That's going to look more stylish anyway. It looks a little bit nicer anyway. With darker denim, you can get away with wearing that in a restaurant. You can get away with wearing it at night. Light colored jeans, they just look super, super casual. And they're fine for walking around in the day, being out in the city, all that kind of stuff. But they look super casual, so you might not want to wear this to like a nicer restaurant. If you're going out to a pub or something, that would be fine. But the darker jeans do tend to blend in a little bit better. Lighter jeans are going to stand out more, and they are going to make you look a little bit more like a tourist. So looking like a tourist, in the main is fine. You should only wear the style that you feel comfortable with. You should dress the way that you want to dress in all situations. But there's an important reason why you don't necessarily want to look like a tourist when you're out, and that is because of pickpockets. Because if you look like a tourist, then you look like a potential mark to pickpockets. You don't want to look like a potential mark to pickpockets. So the more that you can blend in, the better. So try to emulate the style of the place where you're going. Not just to look stylish, but also so that you're not drawing as much attention to yourself as someone who's possibly a foreign traveler. So we're going to, and these are just folded, I guess in a pretty standard way. I've just halved it and halved it again. And we've just stacked all these on top of each other inside our packing cube. And zipping it closed. And these are made to compress down. That's why they have sometimes extra zippers. So that helps to pack flat, and it fits into that space right there in front of the shoes. And this can just go right at the bottom, because I'm already going to have pants on when I arrive at my destination, because I'm wearing pants on the plane. So I'm not going to have to be in a big rush to dig through my bag here and find new clothes right when I land. So it's fine for pants to go at the bottom, because those are the last thing you're probably going to need anyway once you get to your destination and get into your bags and start getting all the different clothes that you need. Okay, so you see we have this whole empty space right here. It's not really big enough to hold shirts, but it's the perfect size for us to talk about socks and underwear, which you're definitely going to need. In order to fit a bunch of pairs of socks and underwear in your bag in a way to where they're going to be accessible and not take up too much space, you want to roll them into these little balls, because these are very easy to pack. very easy to see. You can just set them up like this, set them this way. Super, super easy to work with. How do we do this? I'm going to show you. So I have a pair of tube socks here, which are much easier to roll, but I'm going to show you how to roll other lengths of socks as well. So what you do is, and these are inside out, because when you flip them and then roll them, they're actually prettier that way. So I actually fold them inside out. So what you do is stack them one on top of the other like that. Get them together and then tuck them in together like that and just roll down. And you only want to go about halfway. Stop. Take this front flap right here, fold it up, press it right against there, and then just continue to roll. And that disappears. And when you get to the end, there's a little lip right there. Now you take this, flip it over, and you have an easy to pack sock ball that fits very nicely. And both your socks are right there together. So you don't have to go searching for the two mates. And it's not, you know, some people let me show you an example. A lot of people will take a pair of socks and hold them together and then do this. And you have this kind of like mess, this kind of loose mess that's waving around. And this can come undone very easily. I've seen these come apart inside of a bag before. They come apart when you're trying to pull them out of the bag. And they don't pack very well. They're straggly. You have to kind of shove everything in there together, and it kind of ends up being messy. The neater you can keep your bag, the better, because you want everything to be accessible. You want to be able to see what you have. You want to be able to say, okay, well, this is what I need, this, and this. You don't want to have to root around, and doing this kind of creates a bit of a mess. Now, you can still do this if you want, but it's much easier if you do the rolls. And if you try it that way, I promise you, you're not going to want to go back to the fold. Okay, so my audio did mess up at this point. I believe my microphone died, but you can see me on the video, so I'm just going to hit you with a quick voiceover. It's just a few minutes, and I will tell you the techniques that I'm using, so you will still get the full effect of the video. So I'm just showing you here another way to fold different size socks. It's very easy to fold tube socks. It's a little bit trickier if you're working with like a smaller sock like this one that you can see on the video. So you still just want to do the same thing. Just stack them together so that they're matched up perfectly. Roll them down. And then you can just put them together in your bag just like that without doing any kind of special fold. They're still just rolled together in a little ball. So they're easy to access. And a lot of your athletic ankle socks, like these small ankle socks that I have, you can actually just roll them up individually. And they're matches of each other. They're already perfect mates. So you could just stack them individually like that and just grab out 2 little rolls every time you want to use ankle socks like that. So you can see me here just rolling those up. I also have a different type of little ankle socks, and for these, as you can see here, I kind of roll those into like sock balls, and you can see like kind of a close-up of it right now, or I'll just take them and put one inside the other and make just kind of like a little ball out of it, and then that's still really easy to pack, and then they're still right together. So for like thinner, sort of dressier, no-show ankle socks like these, I'll just put those in little balls, and they pack up very easily with all the other socks just like that. So now, obviously, if you have access to laundry facilities, or if you plan on doing laundry during your trip, you can actually pack fewer pairs of socks and underwear because you're going to do laundry on the trip. I typically do not do laundry on my trip, so I pack all the stuff that I'm going to need. And on this particular trip, I did end up needing more pairs of socks. So bring a couple of extra pairs of underwear and a couple of extra pairs of socks with you, especially if you're not going to have access to laundry facilities, so that you can make sure that you have enough stuff. I also do the same thing for my underwear, where I just roll those up into neat little tubes just like that, and they can stack very easily right on top of the socks in the bag. They take up very, very little space that way. You just roll them up, sort of just fold them in thirds and then roll them downward and then make nice little rolls like that that are just very easy to fit into the suitcase. And you can see me there where I'm just stacking all that together. It's my patent pending stack and pack technique that I use and I'm sharing with you. So it works very, very well to get everything in one spot all together, stacked neatly, and that way you can access it. You can easily see what you're looking at. You just take it out as you need it and it's just all right there. You also want to remember to bring extra items for your carry-on bag, an extra pair of underwear and an extra pair of socks, just to have those with you. So you can see here I'm also going to show you my t-shirt rolling technique. So the way that most people fold t-shirts, you fold them up like this and you put them in a stack, and they're kind of hard to get to. You're reaching into the middle of the stack, you're reaching into the bottom of the stack, you're pulling shirts out of the stack, and then it just turns into a huge mess. So I'm going to show you a much better way to do this. And as you can see here, you just want to take your shirt, shake it out, get it sort of flat and nice, lay it on a flat surface like the suitcase here, and then take it and then fold it so that the bottom third has this little fold. Do you see that little fold? That's right underneath the t-shirt, and it just goes right across like that. Then you take it, lay that flat, and you fold inside. You go about 1/3 of the way over, just to the edge of the collar, fold the sleeve back, and you would see here what I'm doing. And then you want to do the exact same thing on the other side of the shirt. So after you get that nice and neat, then you come over, you go to the other side of the shirt, fold that right back over in the same 1/3, fold the sleeve back like that, and then see, this is what you end up with right there. And you are going to see this technique with the second shirt. So then you start at the top of the collar right there, just fold that down, and then you just start to roll down. And you'd see me doing it here in the video. You just roll all the way down, and you're still working on the front of the shirt. Then you flip it over to the back, and there's your little flap that you folded earlier. Pull that over the shirt, then you have a perfect t-shirt roll. It packs very nicely, stacks very well, and you can put it right there in your bag, and you know exactly what you're looking at. It's not in a stack, it's a nice rolled up design, so that you can put it right there in your bag and you can see it, and you can see all of your t-shirts because they're all rolled up just right there. They're not stacked together, so that makes them much easier to access. And then you can see me do it here. I have another shirt that I'm going to fold the same way, so you can watch the technique again. So you just lay it out flat, create that flap in the back, pull it tight so that you don't, because you don't want to have too many wrinkles. You want to keep it as wrinkle free as possible. Fold it over, fold the sleeve back, and you see I'm just straightening it, trying to get the wrinkles out as I go. Do the same thing on the other side, and then you roll down. And that's the technique. And you can watch this as many times as you need to. Practice it, play with it. It works with pretty much all t-shirts, unless you have something that's just shaped really oddly. And once again, travel iron. If something's too wrinkled for you to wear, you've got your travel iron right there with you. So this is a very good technique to use if you want to pack a lot of t-shirts. I packed 8 into my bag on this trip because that's how many I needed to have with me. So this is a really good method to keep all your t-shirts organized in your bag. They're not in a stack, they're just rolled up nicely. You can see them, you can grab them, and they don't take up a lot of space at all. So this technique really, really works. Okay, so as you can see, I have shifted things around again, and now we're going to finish packing. If you look, you'll see my row of rolled t-shirts here. I don't know if you can see those, but they're all right here. Nice little line of t-shirts, except for one t-shirt that I've pulled out of the pile. That's gonna go in the carry-on bag. It's just a good idea to have an extra t-shirt with you, just in case something happens. You should actually try to have one with you at all times. So I just have this plain one here. This is just gonna be my spare t-shirt that I keep with me, just in case. So I have another packing cube here. I'm out of the pink packing cube, so we're onto the gray ones. And now I'm going to pack these slightly nicer items. So these are going to go near the top so that they're not being crushed down and getting smushed around and wrinkled up by all the other items being on top of them. So the nicer stuff, as far as clothing, the nicer clothing is going to go right on top here. So I have, because once again, we are traveling stylishly. So I have some dresses. The goal here is just to get everything packed as small as possible. And that's another tip that I want to share is pack small items. Pack items that compress down well. You see, for example, I'm wearing these nice, thick, fleecy sweatpants that I love. I absolutely love these. I'm not taking them on the trip because they fold up like an absolute nightmare. They're super thick and soft, which makes them nice and comfortable, but it makes them horrible to put in a drawer or to pack. They just don't compress down. So bring items that compress down well. See, this dress has folded very nicely, very easy to pack. Right there, boom. Bring items that will roll well, fold well, pack down small, because once again, you're trying to take up as little room as you possibly can, which is why we're doing things like this. And I know you may be horrified to see somebody roll up a dress like that, but once again, we have a travel iron. It's not gonna hurt. It's just fabric. It's gonna be fine. Roll it up, fold it up, get it down as small as possible. No, I am not using a whole special garment bag with hangers and you fold it up and all that, because those things take up a massive amount of space. You do not need hangers, okay? You are going to iron the item that you wear that day right before you wear it, and then you're good to go. You don't if you don't need hangers. Even if you're going to an Airbnb and they don't have hangers, it's not a big deal. You do not need to bring hangers. Hangers pack like heck. They are unwieldy and hard to bring, and there's just no sense in it. So don't bring hangers. Don't bring a garment bag. You really don't need it. When you have items like this, if you'll see here, if you have items like this and you're trying to fold a blouse, and it can be a little bit difficult. This is sort of a silky, lightweight kind of fabric, so it's not easy to fold. But the main thing here that you want to do when you're folding a blouse like this, you just need to preserve the collar, right? You just want to keep the collar from getting too wrinkled and too crazy. So focus on folding around that, get that nice and neat. And then once again, we're just going to iron this shirt when we need to wear it. Every other part of it will be fine if you just focus on the collars. And that goes for men's shirts, women's shirts, any kind of shirt. Just make sure the collar is folded well, and then the rest of the shirt, get it in there however you can. Wrinkles can always come out later. You do not, if you've got fabric so precious that you can't get the wrinkles out of it, then I would advise you to get clothing out of different fabric, because it's just going to be easier if you stick to things like linen and cotton and silks that will iron out and will pack well and will roll well, like we have here. So you see, you can just stack all of your nicer items together in one of these little packing cubes, and then when you're all done, you'll just zip it closed and it'll be ready to go. However, I'm putting them in a plastic bag. Why am I doing that? Simple Murphy's Law. If it spills, if it leaks, if it smears, if it's liquid base, if it's gel base, if there's some way that it can leak out in your suitcase, it's going to. Something's gonna happen. Nail polish, makeup, any little toiletries you have, things like this, pens, whatever. If it can leak, if it can smear, if it can spill, if there's any kind of gel or liquid component to it, put it in a plastic bag, no matter what it is. Well, and it's packed very tightly. Nothing in this bag is going to shift. It doesn't matter what the bag handlers are doing. If they're tossing stuff around, if the plane goes through turbulence, this stuff is pretty much not going to move at all, because I've packed it very tightly. And that's what you want to do. You don't want all your stuff to shift around after you get it nice and neat in your bag, because then you open your bag up and now it's a mess. So try to pack to fill the space. The only time that you may not want to do this, and the only time that you may want to have some extra space in your bag just sitting there, if you're going to do some shopping. And you know you're going to do some shopping, then you need to make sure actually that you do have some extra room in your bag so that you can add your new items. If it's packed totally to the gills what are you going to do with your new stuff that you buy? You may even, if you're going on a shopping trip and that's one of your main goals of your trip, you may even want to put a bag inside of your suitcase and just pack the smaller bag and have all your stuff in there, and then take that bag out, and now there's all your stuff, and now you have an empty suitcase. If you're doing a lot of shopping, which sometimes we do, you know, sometimes that's the whole point of a trip. Have this bag. This is a toiletry bag. This is going to be for toiletries that are being packed inside of here. So this is going to be for stuff that I'm not going to need until I get to the hotel. Shampoo, conditioner, soap for washing my body, this kind of thing. Anything that is large in size as well. You want to make sure to pack everything that you're not going to need as far as toiletries, and anything that is larger in size. If you have like a can of mousse or something for your hair, you have to put it in your checked bag, because the TSA has a lot of rules and regulations about the amount of liquids and gels and sprays that you can take on a plane. So you do not want to put all of your toiletries in your carry-on bag, because you're probably going to have a problem with that. So put as many of them as you can into, you know, it doesn't have to be a dedicated toiletry bag like this one. This one's really cool. You can hang it up and then it unfolds, and you've got all your stuff right in there. So I will be packing that later, and I can actually do a whole separate video of how to pack a toiletry bag. If that is something that you guys think that you would be interested in. But anything, just, you don't have to have one like this, but put them in your check bag in plastic bags so that they don't spill out, and just have the most of that stuff in your check bag so that you don't have to go through it with the TSA. Smaller toiletry items and things that you know that you are going to actually need on the plane with you, or immediately after you get off the plane, go ahead and put those in your carry-on luggage, but try to keep that as minimal as possible, because they do not like liquids at all when you're flying. There's going to be questions. So, and then top it off with a laundry bag. All this stuff should be nice and clean and fresh when you pack it, but it is not going to stay that way. You are going to wear t-shirts, you're going to wear socks, you're going to wear underwear, and then you don't want to take all that stuff that you've worn and then throw that in your bag with all of your clean stuff. So have a laundry bag. Just a simple, it doesn't have to be a dedicated laundry bag. You can use a plastic bag. You can use, you know, a paper bag, whatever you want to use, but have a dedicated bag to put all of that soiled stuff in, and then that way you can keep it separate from your other clothes, and it'll just fit right in there. It doesn't take up any extra space yet. And now you're ready to go. So toiletry bag's gonna go right here. And as you can see, we've got our whole check bag pack, just like I promised you. So now let's take a look at what we're gonna do in our carry-on luggage and in our personal plane bag, which is just a smaller bag. Now, and keep in mind, remember, you also want to pay attention to sizes of luggage. This is extremely, extremely important. Check bags can be pretty big. you can, they're gonna charge you. So you could bring a large check bag if you want. That's gonna get checked and go through baggage claim, but there are weight limits, because you're talking about flying on planes and things like this. So you do not want to bring the biggest possible bag that you can and fill it full of the heaviest possible stuff that you own, because number one, you're going to have to carry this around. Number two, there's weight problems. There's going to be weightless. You might end up having to take stuff out of your bag, maybe check a second bag. It's a whole thing. So pack as light as you can for your own sake and for the sake of traveling on the day, because you don't want to, you know, have any delays or anything like that. So this is our carry-on bag. Very important to remember that carry-on bags should not be longer than 21 inches. Wheels to handle. Because on domestic travel, if you're in the US and you're traveling within the US, they will allow you, most airlines, to have a carry-on bag of up to 22 inches. In Europe, though, it's only 21. So start out with a bag that's the right size so that you're not limited on where you can go, and then you can go anywhere. And remember, it is wheels to handle. Sometimes when you buy a bag online, or if you just look at what the measurements are posted on the bag, they will give you the inner dimensions and not the outer dimensions. So you want to make sure that you physically measure it yourself with your own tape measure, because you do not want to find out on the day that you have to take the wheels off of your suitcase, because that happens to people and it can be a thing. So make sure you measure it. Make sure you're within regulation sizes. And now you've got a carry-on that you can take with you on the plane. So what are you going to put in your carry-on? Extra t-shirt. Have your extra t-shirt in your carry-on bag. It's right there. Certain things work. Like if you notice, my hiking boots and my other loafers that I got had no color to them. They were just very neutral. This bag, this is the new bag that I got for the trip. This is what I'm going to be carrying around as like my everyday bag. This is also just very neutral, but there are ways to dress this up and to dress up the shoes and to dress up everything so that it does look more stylish, more put together, more like you have different outfits on. That's coming with me. So that's going to go right here at the top, because this is one of the first things that I'm going to need when I get off the plane. I'm going to have my bag to walk around with. So that's right in the top there. Bag, outfit, and then extra items all the way underneath that. And this is what goes in your carry-on bag. This is a smart tag, okay? You want to put this in your checked luggage. You want to hide this somewhere in the bag. As you know, we packed our bag earlier, but I will find an appropriate spot to put this. Make sure it's charged up, make sure it's linked up, make sure it's ready to go. Put an air tag, a smart tag, some device like this inside your suitcase where you know where it is, just in case it gets lost. If it gets lost, then you have this. You can track your own bag. You can share the information with the airline so that they can get you your bag back. So this is an essential. We're going to make sure this does go in the suitcase before we actually leave. So then I think this bag is done, and we've got all our stuff on here. And none of this stuff I should need on the plane, because anything that I'm going to actually need on the plane, we're going to put in our smaller plane bag. This is all just stuff that I'm going to need pretty soon after I get off the plane, and I don't want to have to rummage around in my huge suitcase, or possibly even wait for my huge suitcase. I might want to get this stuff out even before the luggage claim is ready to go. So that's the kind of stuff you want to put in your carry-on bag. And now we're done with that. So we're going to look at the kind of stuff you want to put in your small personal bag. You are also, in addition to just a standard carry-on, which is under 21 inches, get it as close to 21 inches as you can, so that you can have as much space as possible, would be my advice. But you can also bring a smaller bag. I have this, and this can be, you know, a large tote bag. It can be a duffel bag. It can be a backpack. It can be just a bag like this, diaper bag, briefcase, anything. Doesn't matter. Purse, whatever you have, as long as it is not more than 17 inches. You can bring it on the plane in addition to your carry-on bag. This is called a personal bag, and this is going to be for a lot of your personal items. The kind of stuff we want to put in here. This is my makeup bag. It does not have makeup in it yet because I still need my makeup. Some things, you know, you're going to put in your bags like on the day. Like when you leave, you're going to use them and then put them in the bag. That's why you didn't see where my hair tool, which is going to get stuffed into my check bag. Because anything, any sort of appliance, small appliances, anything that has batteries in it, you're not allowed to put in a carry-on bag. So keep that in mind. Either remove the batteries from it, or just make it easier on yourself. Put any small appliances in your actual check bag, so then there's just less to deal with, because you're not, there's a lot of different small appliance kind of stuff that you actually cannot take on the plane and carry on luggage, and it's a long list. But as far as what you can take on the plane, in your personal bag, this is the kind of place where you want to have extra phone charging cords, your water bottle, and I have a collapsible one, just like a plastic polyurethane collapsible water bottle, because you know, when it's not full, then it can just fold down much easier. We're saving space, always saving space. A charger. So any little gadgets like this, like if you have like a little charger, power cords, all that kind of stuff that you might actually need while you're on the plane, because you might need to charge your phone while you're on the plane, as well as I also have some cleaning, self-cleaning items is like makeup removers. I'm going to be on the plane overnight. So, and I'm going to have to clean myself up after I get off the plane, obviously after being on the plane all the night. So I'm going to keep all of my cleaning supplies with me. As far as self-cleaning, these are like body wipes. So face wipes, body wipes, you know, obviously whatever you think you need in your bag, put that in there. But this is all kind of standard stuff that you might want to at least think about having. These are just like regular wipes for like the airport tray table and stuff. These are like bleach disinfecting wipes. So you can wipe down wherever you're at, in the airport, on the airplane, keep things clean. I'm going to actually keep this in my everyday walking around bag when I'm done getting off the plane and I pack that bag. I'm going to make sure I have these and these hand wipes with me at all times. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that you cannot have too much crap like that. You know, even if all you're bringing is a bottle of Purell, bring something in order to keep your hands clean, keep services that you eat unclean, whatever you need to do. Obviously, I've got like all these things. Maybe I'm taking it too far, but bring something so that you can keep yourself clean, keep the stuff around you clean as needed. Even if there's not a pandemic going on, you don't want to get the flu or a cold or whatever. This is going to stay with you, you know, either right under the seat in front of you, or you're going to have it out rummaging in it while you're on the plane. This is going to be the bag that's the easiest to get to. So this is where you want to keep all your stuff that you feel like you're going to need, you know, possibly even on the plane before you get off the plane. You are allowed to bring solid ice packs on the plane, not gel-based ice packs. Do not bring those. The TSA will not let you have those. But you can bring a solid ice pack. So what I do is freeze just like a regular plastic disposable water bottle, freeze it, and then stick it in a cooler bag like this. You see how it's got the little insulation. Stick it in a cooler bag like this, and then you can put like your sodas and your food that you're taking on the plane. I am taking food on the plane. That's a whole separate video. If you want to watch that one, make sure you check that out so you can learn how to hack food on the plane, because they charge you so much money. So you've got all your hygiene items. You've got your gear that you're probably going to need with you immediately on the plane. You've got a water bottle. Hopefully it doesn't have to be like this one, but something that you can put water in, because you can get water free on the plane. If nothing else, if you're going super lean and you don't really have much of anything, whether you have food or not, bring a water bottle. Tell them to fill it up for you. You can have some water on the plane. It is essential, and it seems like maybe I'm packing all these different things, but we know exactly what we're going to wear. The days we're going to wear it. We know exactly why we have every single item, and that's what this is all about. So get your bag packed. This is for cosmetics later. You know what to put in your personal bag. You know what to put in your food bag. You know what to put in your carry-on bag. Now let's talk about what you don't want to put in your bags. However, what I'm not going to do is bring my nicest jewelry or my favorite jewelry. I'm not going to bring, you know, the necklace that my mother gave me on this trip. I'm not going to bring my favorite pair of earrings. Do not bring, it's, and this may sound contradictory, because earlier I said you want to bring stuff that you feel comfortable in. Bring your comfortable stuff with you. Stuff that you like, that you know you look good in. Try it on. Make sure it feels good. Make sure you look good. Make sure you're happy with it. I'm opening up the hat bag. I know you've been curious about it this whole time. We're finally digging into the hat bag as I'm discussing this with you. So you do want to bring comfortable stuff that you like. Obviously, bring stuff that you like, that you want to wear, but do not bring your favorite stuff. Sounds like a contradiction. It's not, because no matter how careful you are, no matter if you've got your AirTag in your bag or not, no matter how vigilant you're being, stuff's going to get lost or forgotten, left behind. Every single trip I've ever taken, I have accidentally left behind something that I didn't want to leave. Every single time. Now, maybe that is just me and some flaw that I have, but I think it's actually pretty universal for a lot of people that stuff goes missing when you travel. This is just the way it is. So please do not bring your expensive jewelry and necklaces and earrings and all that stuff, which I know you're trying to be stylish. You want to wear your nice stuff. You want to represent well. You want to look great in your vacation photos. That all makes sense. I still would caution you not to do it. I would still caution you not to bring your expensive pieces. Don't bring your designer pieces. Do not bring your favorite items. Okay. You bring your second favorite. and I think it's a good idea. Go ahead and buy a few things specifically just for the trip. Things that you have not had time to get attached to yet, that you do not absolutely love yet. So then that way, if something happens while you're on the trip and you do lose these items, it's not going to be a heartbreaker. Do not bring, your special ring or your special watch that you got from some significant personal achievement. Don't bring those designer earrings. Get, a cheap knockoff or something that looks similar that you can purchase that's affordable, that if you lost it, it wouldn't be the most terrible thing that ever happened. You do not want to take your fancy stuff and your designer stuff on a trip like this and possibly lose it. Okay. So do not bring your precious or valuable items unless it's something that you just absolutely you cannot be okay without it. Obviously, if that's the case, do not cause yourself more anxiety than what you need to. If there's something that you just have to have that's very, very precious to you, bring it with you, but you're gonna have to be vigilant about it the entire time. You're just gonna make sure that it's with you, that you're bringing it, from as you're going from place to place. If you're going to multiple locations like I am on a trip. So I am finishing off my carry-on bag here. And the reason this stuff is going on in the carry-on is obviously it cannot fit in the big suitcase. You saw a bunch of scarves go in here. That is also related to the upcoming style video where I will talk about how you can dress up your items. So it's okay to get neutral items, such as this hat or this hat, or like the bag that I showed you or the shoes that I showed you earlier. Get neutral items. I'm going to show you how to dress them up and make them great and make them go well with any outfit that you want to wear. Okay. So as far as accessories go, this would be another tip that I would give you. Look for stuff that's more neutral. Obviously, this is going specifically with the beach stuff. So it's made to match the beach stuff. This is not neutral, but I do wear a lot of this shade, so I'll probably get plenty of use out of this. But otherwise, other than some specific items that you may need, go as neutral as possible with all of your accessories. And that way you don't have to buy a ton of stuff. You can just buy one or two items. Like I just have one bag that I'm going to carry around instead of, trying to pack a whole bunch of different bags. It's just much easier. So look for neutral stuff that's cute, and I'll show you how to dress it up. And these hats are made to fold. I know they are large and interesting looking, but they're specifically made to fold and unfold. And once again, we have a travel iron. So even hats, if they're straw hats like this, you can even use that to work out some of the wrinkles on hats like this and get them looking nice again. If you're going someplace with a lot of sun, or if you're just super fashionable, you might want an accessory like a hat. And it seems like a lot to deal with, but you see, if you can, let me move this for you so you can get a good look at it. But it fits very nicely in the top of the suitcase with the strap, and then all the scarves are just right underneath there. And there you go. And it will smush down when I close the bag, but it's okay because they're made to smush. They're made of straw and they're made to smush, and it's not a big deal. So there you go. And that will close just like that. And now we're just about ready to go. So I guess I'll see you next when I'm in London.